So I keep hearing people saying that these movies are YouTuber movies. On the internet, face to face with people I know, and even hearing random people in public say it after watching one of these movies. I'm starting to think we've forgotten what a YouTuber movie is. This is a YouTuber movie. And this is a YouTuber movie. Not these. If you ask the directors of these movies if they're YouTuber movies, they will say no. Kane Parsons isn't a YouTuber. YouTube is like the only popular platform where you can post long-form videos, so for someone trying to get into the video production industry, it only makes sense to post your projects on YouTube. Same thing goes for Curry Barker. He wanted to do sketch comedy like Key and Peele, so he made sketches and posted them all over the internet. I saw in this interview on the Dead Meat podcast that he initially didn't want to record stuff vertically, but eventually gave in after seeing how well they did. And also, when the average person hears the term YouTuber, it's not likely they think of up-and-coming directors making horror short films and sketch comedy, but probably the more stereotypical stuff targeted at children like, "Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today, we're doing breaking up with my girlfriend. Prank. Like and subscribe, or I will break up with your girlfriend too." You get the point. Since anyone can upload to YouTube, there's such an insanely wide range of creators with drastically different amounts of quality and effort put into them. That's probably why a filmmaker who puts months or years into a project is not going to be entirely fond of being called a YouTuber. So most actual YouTuber movies suck. Fred the movie, Smosh the movie, Angry Video Game Nerd the movie, Airplane Mode. These are all your stereotypical YouTuber movies, and they're all pretty bad. Now, some of the movies of recent that people keep referring to as YouTuber movies are Backrooms, Obsession, Iron Lung, Talk to Me, and I've even heard some people say Weapons? All of these films being horror movies. I am a bit 50-50 on whether or not Iron Lung is a YouTuber movie, because I mean, it's Markiplier. It's John YouTube. Like, I don't want to compare the terrible YouTuber movies of the past to the quote-unquote YouTuber movies of recent, because they're just so different, and I don't want to be like, this one's better than this one, because like, yeah, the newer ones are better. I just wanted to make a stupid little video where I watch a couple of actual YouTuber movies, and then also talk about the new YouTuber movies. Okay, I'll stop doing that now. So I've never seen Fred the movie or Smosh the movie, and I feel like those are the most stereotypical and successful YouTuber movies I could possibly watch. So I'm gonna watch those, and then after I kind of try to unpack my experience with those movies, we'll talk about Obsession and Backrooms in detail. Both movies that I loved and enjoyed immensely, so expect a lot of glaze. Alright, Fred movie. Yay. Why do I always record a video right when I need a haircut? Dude, I swear every time I get a haircut, it looks different because I haven't found a barber. So every time I get a haircut, it's a completely different person. So I watched both movies last night, both Fred the movie and Smosh the movie. And then I've already seen Obsession and Backrooms, obviously. Fred the movie was kind of depressing. I wasn't expecting to feel as sad as I did. I felt really bad for Fred. I kind of like just felt genuinely like sad while watching this movie. And I don't think that was the intention. Fred is a mentally ill, troubled boy with no friends, and he only lives in his imagination. The movie just made me feel weird, I guess. It made me feel uncomfortably sad because I was watching a movie that wasn't supposed to be sad, but the character that the movie is the main character is sad. Like, it's a sad character. He's not sad, but it's sad to watch him. I've watched like a total of one of the old Fred videos because they're annoying. If you don't know Fred, it's a character. He's not on YouTube anymore, but I forgot. Okay, editing me, put the guy who created the character on the screen. Right there. Hey, there's a guy that made the Fred. First thing I noticed was they made his voice a lot deeper, which in the original Fred videos, his voice is extremely high pitch, like it's been pitched up to the point where it's grating on the ears, like it sucks to listen to. I don't think it's possible to enjoy this unless you are 4 years old. But they made it less high pitched in the movie. It's easier to listen to. It's significantly easier on the ears, and I appreciate that, I guess. But he still screams, and he's still annoying. He has the most annoying, high pitched, obnoxious scream that I'm not going to play because it makes me mad. I don't want that in my video. Fred. So everyone in Fred's life hates him. He has a crush on this girl that he thinks is his girlfriend because he's mentally ill, and he stalks her. He stalks her. He's a stalker. He stalks this girl. The opening sequence of the movie is him stalking her. This whole movie, I was like, this boy needs help. He needs some sort of psychiatric help or something, because like everything he does in this movie is he has like anger issues. There's one part where he has a tantrum where he destroys his entire like house, and it was because like the girl who he thinks is his girlfriend moved. It feels weird to like laugh at it. Like I don't feel like I'm allowed to laugh at this because it's just so sad. A lot of the sequences in this movie are fully in Fred's imagination. Like there are tons of kind of interesting sequences and they're in Fred's mind, and you don't get to know they're in Fred's mind until after, and it's just kind of disappointing because you're brought back to the reality that Fred is alone and he has no friends. I guess there's that one girl that's his neighbor that like talks to him. This movie feels wrong. I don't like it. I never want to see it again. Okay, one positive thing, John Cena was in it and that was funny. They're stupid. He did not need to be in the movie, but I thought it was hilarious that he was even here. That's great, man. Glad you're in the movie. He plays Fred's imaginary dad. His dad abandoned him. His mom hates him. She's an alcoholic. He's ill. Fred is ill. Fred needs help. Someone help him. Why are there 2 more movies? Why are there 2 more Fred movies? Does he get friends? Okay, one thing that pissed me off about the movie. I don't think I mentioned the plot. I don't think I explained the plot of the movie. So Fred wants girl. I forgot her name. The whole movie is just him trying to get with her, and it's he does it in the worst ways. There were some good like gags, I guess. The physical comedy was acceptable. I really hated it whenever Fred screamed. I liked when Fred thought he dug to China. That was funny. And I liked John Cena. But other than that, this movie was just so depressing. On the bright side, Smosh the movie was much less sad to watch. It was just boring. I'll get to that in a second. Let me wrap up Fred here. Fred the movie is bad. I don't know, like, what am I gonna rate it? Like a 1 star, 1 out of 5 stars. I'm not giving it half a star because it did make me feel things. Jeez. All right. Smosh the movie. So this movie was just kind of boring. Like, I didn't hate it. It's a movie where kind of just nothing really happens. It wasn't abysmal. Like, I wasn't mad while watching it. I actually laughed a couple times, probably at parts where they did not intend for me to laugh. But Anthony is trying to get this girl, and Ian is also trying to get girl. But Ian's plot is a little stupider because it's like a YouTube video of a girl getting a massage, and then they go into the YouTube video, and then she becomes his girlfriend. I don't know, man. Most of the movie is just them screwing around inside of YouTube videos, which is fun. It's dumb. It doesn't make a great movie, but it was fine, like, to watch for a bit there. I did notice that Ian and Anthony had significantly less energy than they do in their YouTube videos. Like, even in the more recent sketches they've done, which they haven't been doing sketches recently, but like a couple years ago, they did Food Battle 2024 or something, and it still had the same, like, vibe as their old videos where they're like, ooh, they're just, like, really, like, over-the-top goofy guys. They just weren't goofy in this movie. They were, like, bored, it seemed like. I don't know. The part that I like laughed the hardest, it's so dumb. There's this part where the evil villain guy, who I think is like the head of YouTube, he's like warping through the YouTube videos, and one of them he warps into like a truck driver, and he says this.
You boys can't escape Steve YouTube.
It's so funny. I don't know if that's supposed to be funny, but it was so funny because it looks so stupid. I laughed so hard. Like, I thought it was so funny. When they're warping through the YouTube videos, Markiplier is there. Jenna Marbles is there, which was, I thought it was cool that they were in the movie because I didn't know they were in the movie, but they didn't really add much, I guess. They're kind of just there. I was like, hey, it's Jenna Marbles from Jenna Marbles. She's funny. Oh, there was another funny part. There was one part that kind of reminded me of Smiling Friends. Again, the evil villain guy is chasing them through the videos, and there's like a Markiplier Let's Play with like a chainsaw monkey or whatever, and it looks ugly. And the video starts buffering.
Why is there still buffering? Why hasn't this issue just been resolved years ago? It's an issue with the bandwidth. It's complicated. Let me see what I can do. Janice, are you streaming videos? Can you turn off your AOL for a second? I'm having buffering problems.
It was kind of funny. Like, I was like, okay, this is funny. And I think that was supposed to be funny. It did remind me a lot of Smiling Friends when they did that. That was cool. This was way before Smiling Friends. This is 2015. Wow, it's 11 years ago. This is an 11-year-old movie. This is a Gen Alpha movie. I thought it was funny at times, but a lot of the jokes fell really flat for me, and the story was just not there. Man, the story in this movie, is there a story? I don't know. This movie was better than the Fred movie. Definitely better. I do think if I was a kid and I went to the theaters and I watched this, if I was a fan of Smosh and I went to go see this movie, I would probably have been disappointed. One thing I noticed about both of these movies is their plots were just so bad. They had kind of like a thing that would make it so that they could just do whatever bits they wanted. Like Fred has his imagination and Ian and Anthony could jump into whatever made up YouTube video the directors wanted. It does lead to a visually stimulating film, but just not a very they weren't thoughtful movies. I don't recommend either of these. They're just so dumb. Both of those were just weird experiences. Like my primary emotion was, huh, okay. Anyways, now to talk about the actually good movies that I'm excited to talk about. Yippee, I'm so excited. I'm gonna take a little bathroom break. I'll be right back. You want to hear something funny? I just recorded for 15 minutes and then realized my microphone wasn't recording. And then I recorded for another 15 minutes and realized my camera wasn't recording. I love my life. It's fine. I only lost 30 minutes of footage. It's fine. I'm not mad. Okay, so main takeaway from these movies exist just to exist, to capitalize on Fred or Smosh, like a brand. It's not to make a good movie. The more recent quote-unquote YouTuber movies are to make good movies. They're made by directors who genuinely want to make good movies, and they have nothing to do with the YouTube brand that they've already built. So Obsession is quite possibly my favorite movie of the year so far. I loved this movie so much. I loved every second of watching it. I'm going to try to keep this mostly spoiler-free, but Obsession, the basic premise is about a wish for love that goes horribly wrong. There's 4 characters, Bear, Nikki, Sarah, and Ian. And Bear, he has a crush on Nikki, and one night after he fails miserably at confessing to her, he makes the wish, I wish that Nikki Freeman, I think it was Freeman? Gordon Freeman.
Mr. Freeman.
I wish that Nikki Freeman would love me more than anyone in the entire world, which is a cursed wish on its own. He wishes this using the One Wish Willow, which he bought at a store for Nikki, and then he ends up using it himself. You make the wish, you crack the thing, you only get one wish. It's just some plot device magic, but I think it works in this movie. And then immediately Nikki is a different person, and it creates, what the wish does is it creates like this new entity, this new person. She has a cursed existence. She exists to love someone more than anyone else in the entire world, which no one can do. That is such a stressful thing to have put on you. She's born, and then this is her purpose. She has to love this random guy more than anyone in the entire world. It's so fascinating. There's so much stuff in this movie, little details that are fascinating, that are heartbreaking. There's so much cool stuff in this movie. It is so worth watching. The scariest part of the movie for me is the idea of losing my autonomy. Losing your autonomy is such a scary thought. Like Nikki, from what I gathered, she's fully aware throughout this whole thing, and she's just watching this other person control her body. And then Wish Nikki, she's freaking out the whole time because her brain is set up in a way where it's like, my only purpose is to love this one dude more than anyone else in the entire world. And it builds and builds and builds, and it is so well done. There's so many cool details in this movie. Sometimes she'll move in like a stop motion way. The lighting, there's one shot where like her eyes are like glowing in the dark. Nikki's always in the shadows. I saw in like an interview, I didn't realize this while watching the movie, there's voiceovers in certain scenes, and it doesn't match what you're seeing, and it's supposed to be just unsettling enough that like you don't realize it's happening. It's like The Shining. Like in The Shining, things are constantly shifting around and being weird. Just stuff that your brain subconsciously notices. There's just so many little details like that, like the voiceovers thing, that just make this movie so scary. And it works so well. It has this emotional aspect to it that, for me, made it so much more difficult to watch. Like, it is a hard watch, but there's so much to think about. The way that this wish for love is approached is so entertaining, and so... This movie's funny, too. Did I mention it's funny? Did I mention it's hilarious? Did I mention that the humor doesn't take away from the horror? That it adds to it? Jeez, I really like this movie. I watched it 3 weeks ago and I'm still thinking about it. If somehow you're at this point in the video and you haven't seen this movie, go watch it, unless you're a little baby. Cut that out. That's so rude. It is a 5-star movie for me. I struggle to think of any flaws. Like, I struggle to think of anything in this movie that didn't work. Commenters. People who leave the comments. If you can, like, think of, like, some big flaws in this movie, comment them. Now, Backrooms. This movie's also freaking awesome. I saw this movie, like, right when it came out, because I was more hyped to see this than Obsession. I didn't go to see Obsession until way after Backrooms. I thought Backrooms was pretty scary when I first watched it. I guess I just hadn't seen a horror movie in theaters in a while, because then I went and saw Obsession, and that was a million times scary. Backrooms is just so weird, and it's a good weird. I've talked to multiple people that have seen both Obsession and Backrooms, and I know of a few people that think Backrooms is scarier than Obsession. I thought Obsession was infinitely scarier than Backrooms, but it was certain aspects of Backrooms that were so scary, like whether you're just really scared of liminal spaces, or what happens to Clark over the course of the movie, the main character. Since now I'm talking about Backrooms, people keep comparing Backrooms to Obsession, and the majority of people are like, oh yeah, Obsession's way better than Backrooms. You know how at the beginning of the video I was like, even at the theater after watching these movies, I heard people saying, oh, that was way better than Backrooms. Like, they're completely different kinds of movies. These two movies are nothing alike. The only thing similar between them is the fact that they're horror movies. To me, at least. Obsession is a thrill ride, and Backrooms is a slow burn. Like, they're just so different. The amount of people that went and saw Backrooms and didn't see the original series, like, the original series is slow. Kane Parsons' work is slow and steady, and that's not a bad thing. I did enjoy Obsession more than Backrooms, but I still think it's weird to compare the two movies when they're just not alike. Sure, they came out at similar times, so why are we comparing everything? Why can't we just appreciate both art pieces, you know? Okay, so this movie, there's Clark. He owns a furniture store. He wants to be an architect, but he's stuck at the furniture store. There's a bunch of problems he had with his wife. He has anger issues. He's seeing a therapist who she has trauma of her own. I forgot, I think the therapist, her name is Mary? Yeah, Clark and Mary. I'd say their backstories aren't super complex, but they're still complex characters. Like, you can understand their backstory in, like, the one scene where it's explained. I think the movie does pick up a lot more once they really do get deep into the Backrooms. It gets super interesting. There's some other characters, but it's a pretty small cast. Both movies have pretty small casts. I really like liminal spaces. I like how they make me feel. It's a weird, like, nostalgic, eerie kind of feeling that's hard to explain. There's one scene where they're exploring, like, deeper into the Backrooms, some of the characters, and there's just stupid. There's some stuff that I just don't like how it looks in this particular room that they're in. It makes me deeply uncomfortable. It's such a weird, eerie feeling that comes over me. It taps into a part of my brain that I want untapped. Get me out of there. I really like how the Backrooms ends up being explained. I'm not going to spoil it because it's likely some people watching this haven't seen it, but it's such a satisfying way for it to be explained. Also, this movie was shot very well. Both of these movies were shot very well. I really like the direction that movies are going right now, where Hollywood is losing and all these independent films are exploding at the box office, making so much money. Like, Iron Lung at the beginning of the year did really well. It beat a Sam Raimi movie, which was crazy. I'm #1 Sam Raimi enjoyer, and I still haven't seen that movie. Like, I'm really happy that all these internet people are making these movies, and they're doing well. They're doing great. The main point of this video, these aren't YouTuber movies. And I think calling them YouTuber movies is a little weird. Like I said at the beginning of the video, YouTube is such a diverse platform. There are so many creators who put so many different levels of effort into their content. There's, like, streamers that just do clips from their streams, and then there's, like, video essayists that take, like, 2 years. So I think that the term YouTuber movie is going to die down. I think people are going to stop using that term, because it's just like how in the 80s and 90s, young up-and-coming filmmakers, they were making short films and sending them to film festivals. Film festivals are kind of outdated now, even though people are still using them, and I want to go to some. And Obsession was shown at film festivals. That's how it got a theatrical release. So they're not fully outdated. But with the internet, it's another tool to get yourself out there. I'm not saying, like, you can't call them YouTuber movies. I'm not Mr. Hey, you over there, you calling them YouTuber movies, shut up. Stop that. You can do that if you want. I'm not going to stop you. I'm just saying. They're not. I don't think they are. And the creators of these movies, they don't think of them as YouTuber movies. They think of them as Obsession and Backrooms. This video might seem a bit lower effort than my past few, but I'm working on a really big video right now that is taking like a lot of my time, energy, and passion, and I wanted to get a lighter, easier to produce video out, I guess. Something that would just be fun. Like, I don't have to do too much green screen stuff, because that's really what takes the most time. I'm so excited for the video I'm working on. It's my longest script yet. I'm not even done writing the script, so we'll see how that video turns out. I'm really excited for it, but expect maybe like a couple more before that video comes out. But yeah, thank you for watching. Okay, bye-bye. See you later.